I hate to say it, Barger, but I'm getting kind of sleepy.
Yeah, me too. It's about this time I'd normally have my pre-sleep nap.
Oh, well, now would be the perfect time to crack out the Good Game energy drinks.
Oh yeah, Good Game energy drinks. Awesome. Oh, disgusting. Well, Counter-Strike is one of the most important shooters out there for what it has done for FPS and also what it's done for the competitive gaming scene.
Yes, but it's been long overdue for an update, which brings us to Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Barjo, I just revenged you. You should feel so proud. I've been...
That's alright.
I'm sorry, guys, I'm sorry.
Where will I go? There's like nowhere else to go.
He just threw a flashbang! Oh, it's a decoy! Oh, yeah!
Oh god, it's just me.
Just stare at the walls. Oh, there's one! Oh, nice!
Is he teabagging the bomb?
Hex, there aren't many FPSs where I can sit down with the same guns and play on the same maps year after year and still laugh and scream until my throat goes raw, and Counter-Strike is one of those games. The clean-cut balance of the maps and the weapons inspire a fierce competitive streak within my body that unleashes in a sweat-filled fury onto my keyboard. Ah!
Yes, the highs when you're winning round after round.
Behind you. Oh, yes!
Oh my god!
Oh, what? That's amazing.
Oh my god, I'm amazing! And the lows when you just can't climb up that scoreboard and you resort to blaming hacks or rego.
Only one person on our team has got a kill. Look, with that many characters and numbers and hashtags in his name. Hacks.
There's no way he could just be really good at Counter-Strike. You're saying he's using some hacks?
Totes hacks.
It's a roller coaster ride.
Being accused of hacking in Counter-Strike is the best compliment anyone can receive.
You're joking! I just got two of them.
And I shot you in the back, sorry about that, but now I have your P90, so it's all good.
Counter-Strike Global Offensive is a solid update of Counter-Strike, and they haven't changed too much, which was the biggest fear. In fact, it's more of an update of old-school Counter-Strike as opposed to an update of Source. Firstly, everything is more shiny, and the maps are much more detailed. There's motion blur and AA up the wazoo, and all the sound design has been wonderfully remastered, so they still sound like the old guns, but a much better version of them.
None of this will rival any modern COD or Battlefield shooter, but it's not trying to do that. The focus here is making it good enough for a nostalgic romp, but also good enough that competitive Counter-Strikers can move onto it.
And I think they will want to, Hex, because one of the biggest changes here is the physics system from Source. This is actually much closer to original Counter-Strike. You're not going to see barrels rolling about or cans on the ground. It's all rigid and fixed.
That guy's hurting. Have you got a grenade you can chuck down there?
You can still shoot the odd chair, though. I always thought CSS was a bit of a flashbang fest anyway.
I thought the controls didn't feel as floaty as old CS.
Yeah, that's all a bit tighter, I think. And I like the models too. Well, most of the models. I don't like the chef hats.
Well, the chef hats had some nice floppy physics though.
That is true.
I thought there was some nice detail overall, and I really liked the way the guns hang on the character models. Plus, some of the ragdoll is old school hilarious. I wouldn't call it a gory game, but there is quite a lot of realistic looking blood splatter, and some of those bottlenecks get pretty messy. I actually found that a little startling, Barjo.
Yeah, me too, but it's such a fast-paced game, you don't linger on too much for too long. I think the best thing they've done, though, is balanced all of the weapons. In older CS, you'd have 3 or 4 weapons that you'd use and probably nothing else, but here everything feels useful, whether it be the inaccurate power of the AK or the weak but stable Bison Uzi. I had a lot of fun getting used to all of the guns' recoil and spreads and watching that reticle go in and out and working out the best way to use them.
While I'm happy that there's a heavier focus on chickens now, that is a higher density of chickens and their animations are better, I did find them a little bit distracting. There?
Yep. That's a chicken!
You need to leave those chickens alone, Hex.
It's the way they explode in the puff of feathers.
Yes. Or just shoot like one bullet at the time even. The chicken just scared the crap out of me.
I think the AI of the chickens could have been worked on a bit harder. I did see one walk into the flames.
Oh, chicken just went into the fire.
All the menus, quick match, and server browser functions work really well. The menus in HUD have all had an overhaul too, and I like that you can see the icons of who's left in your team at the top and how much health they have. We have had a few sound distortion issues and mouse float bugs and a few crashes here and there, but they were generally pretty rare and usually a reload fixes them.
There's also plenty of custom servers, which is great. The matchmaking works fine, but if you want to have specific settings like friendly fire on but player collisions off, there are heaps of community servers out there for you to choose from.
There's already a zombie mod, which is pretty rough and also confusing, but it's a cool idea. I also like that while you're waiting for a server to fill up, bots can take up spots, and then you can take control of them when you die.
I always feel a bit more reckless in a bot than my own skin. It's a bit sci-fi the way you leap into their brains and take control, isn't it? Assuming direct control. It's a huge nostalgic hit coming to this game, and that natural intuition of a Counter-Strike fight starts to sink in as you get into the rhythm of strafing unpredictably and taking short, controlled bursts at enemies, and I love the way that you start to think about all the objects around you. So if you're attacking one enemy and another one pops up, you just instinctively shift so that one's out of your line of sight, so you focus on one and then move on to the other. Ah, it took me back, Hex.
Oh, that fire almost got me.
I also like that catching someone by surprise isn't necessarily a guaranteed kill. I mean, they still have time to whip around and fire a few shots off. The new Molotovs open up a whole new range of strategy for Counter-Strike and are very useful in bottlenecks, although the effect isn't that pretty, which goes for grenades as well, actually. But it is seriously stressful when you get caught in the flames. There's also a taser, which is useless, but hilarious as well.
Yeah, I don't think I've got a taser kill yet. All the tweaks to the maps are welcome, and it takes a while to get used to them.
Affirmative.
The best one is in Dust, where the stalemate tunnel sniping fest can be broken by a new stairway that leads up to the middle section. The first time I played that map, I kept getting hit from the right and I couldn't work out why, and then I turned and there was a whole new entry there. All of these tweaks, though, they make the maps just go a bit faster and there's more opportunity for flanking, which is a good thing.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than, you know, a standoff while everyone else waits, or a dirty AFKer.
Yeah.
Along with the standard CS modes, there's also 2 new official ones. Arms Race, which is a gun game that gives you a new weapon with each kill. The final knife wins the match. I enjoy Arms Race way more than I thought I would, Barjo. There's something so stressful about, you know, a player being down to the knife trying to get that final kill.
Yeah, I like the sound that it makes when you've actually taken out an enemy, that bung sound that lets you know you don't need to reload a gun because you've got a brand new one. And then when you hit that shotty section, it's a shotgun, 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 you get a real rhythm going. The other official mode is Demolition, which is a mishmash of gun game and bomb defusal. If you take out an enemy, you'll progress to another gun in the next round, but you're also trying to plant a bomb at the same time or defuse one. I enjoyed all the Demolition maps, especially the tweaked classic ones, which made for a much faster game. But deep down, Hex, I still wish there was a whole new set of standard war maps. I just want more. I can't play Dust 2 forever.
Yeah, and you know, CS newcomers will have a rough ride getting used to no iron sights and this kind of burst fire style of play. I mean, you could argue that CSGO is pretty dated in many ways.
Yeah, I think you could, but also if they changed the gameplay too much, a lot of people would be upset. So it needs to kind of find that middle ground, I think.
Where'd you go?
One thing that hasn't changed is that you certainly still need a thick skin to play in public servers. It's a troll's paradise.
What's he?
That's
That's not.
It's just
That's
rude.
not safe.
Teabagging
Right,
Bob,
man.
Just rude.
But we had a great time this week playing with the Good Game TV community. Thank you very much for everyone who joined us.
He's trying to shoot the nuclear bombs. Don't do it, man. You're a crazy man.
We did have a quick look at the console versions, and they're not a bad port.
Yeah, but I think CS's home will always be on the PC.
Yeah. Look, this is a pretty masterful update. It's not as visually amazing as I wanted it to be, but I'm kind of glad that it's also very much the same game. So I'm giving it 8 out of 10 rubber chicken.
I agree with you, Budge. I'm giving it 8 as well.
Careful. I think they planted a B. I think you're at the wrong bomb site.
Oh god.
Oh no!
No!
I don't know if he's.
This is not gonna happen.
Ouch.